predictions. And we're also starting to hear that DeFi is completely dead. There's a lot of news that broke out over the weekend, so I'm going to go ahead and summarize that for you all as clear and concise as possible. Do I personally think Bitcoin will see $60,000? We'll have to see. Welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto, every single day. I'm WendyO, and this is what I do. I stream, I talk about crypto, and give you guys all of the best news. Now let's go ahead and go through what's going on with a lot of these different price predictions. So the Bitcoin chart, what's going on with that? So Fidelity says that there will be a year off in 2026 for Bitcoin, and that we're going to get some pretty nasty price action. I'm going to go ahead and talk you through that, let you know what's going on with the story, and then give you my personal opinion. So basically, there's a new Bitcoin pattern that signals a 2026 off year that could drag prices down to a brutal support level. And they're talking about key support between 65 and 75,000. Then they're talking about even drawdowns to 57 to 82,000. Year-long cooling influenced by liquidity, cost basis, and ETF flows. In this report, they didn't talk about crypto regulation though. And there's another story we're going to cover talking about crypto regulation and why that's impacting what's currently happening with prices. We'll get into that too. He also said in this article, and again, this is somebody from Fidelity, the global director of macro. They said, while I remain secular bull on Bitcoin, my concern is that Bitcoin may have ended another 4-year cycle, having phased both in price and time. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So he's basically saying that we're going to get a lot of bearish price action, and that we're going to see some really, really nasty stuff happen in 2026. Okay, and that's all right. That's totally fine. The prediction of $65,000 to $75,000, like I could see a move down to 74,000. That's where I have on my on our Big Daddy Chad chart. I can't show you now because I'm live streaming from Hawaii, and I think I got sun poisoning yesterday. But anyways, and yes, please smash the like. Also, in addition to that, thank you so much, Lawrence, for the $10 super chat. The potential drawdowns to 57 to 82,000. That's like a really weird target that he's talking about. Maybe he's referring to two different charts, but I do like the $65,000 to $75,000 area, because generally what happens is when you get these volatile moves down, you'll hit onto support and you'll get a swing wick down. Bulls will step in and push price up. So basically that would make sense to me. I don't want to say 65,000, but I can see 74,000 and then a swing wick low to knock a bunch of people out using leverage, and then number goes back up. So that would make sense. And then we have Tom Lee. So Tom Lee over at Fundstrat says, Tom Lee and another analyst, Sean Farrell, they gave different outlooks for Bitcoin. One of them said 60 to 65,000 in early 2026. And again, I like that prediction. As somebody who used to trade like all the time, I like that prediction. It makes sense to me. It makes sense that we would see a volatile move down, okay? Great, fine, fantastic. And that is good for people that want to buy the dip on various altcoins, okay? We're going to talk about altcoins in a second. I got you. Tom Lee says that he focuses on long-term macro trends and institutional adoption, and Farrell is focused on short-term risk management. Farrell expects a short-term retracement to 60 to 65,000 in early 2026. Again, I can see us like kind of finding support about 74,000, a swing look down, and then moving back up. But again, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin moves a lot differently than a lot of these institutions are ready for, especially with the volatility. And again, I think once Bitcoin does hit $1 million, we'll see a lot of stable. We'll see a lot less volatility. Also, yesterday, gold hit all-time high, and Bitcoin remained under $90,000. And we had talked about that story too, especially with the, I want to say it was the BlackRock Bitcoin spot ETF, is that gold has performed or the Bitcoin spot ETF actually outperformed the gold spot ETF, but gold is worth more. So we kind of talked about that a little bit, which I thought was interesting. And again, I think that gold and Bitcoin are both great assets, especially hedging in these uncertain times, in my personal opinion. Now, JPMorgan, and this is where it's going to get bullish for your altcoins. JPMorgan is exploring crypto trading for institutional clients. This is just institutional clients. This is just people with money. The bank is not committed to launching any services yet, and the decisions depend on perceived risk and business opportunities. But the products that they want to launch are going to be, no, Polygon's not dead in any way, shape, or form. They're actually doing a lot, like first off, Polymarket is built on top of Polygon. And in addition to that, they actually have a lot of really great things that they've been working on, especially for payments and whatnot, but no one's really talking about it. I covered them on the show a while ago. I don't have any current stories, But I'll have the team send me some stuff over because they're my buddies over there. Well, I got one person that's a friend. Now, sorry, there's an airplane. I'm going to try to talk a little bit louder. Every single crypto project's bleeding. It's all going down. That's just how it works right now. That's just what the cycle looks like. Literally everything is in a downtrend. And we've talked about that when I pulled charts up. You'll literally see most altcoins, especially the top 100, just heading downward. They're all in a downtrend. That's kind of what's happening. Now, JPMorgan exploring crypto trading services for institutional clients, including spot and derivatives products. What does this mean? This means all of the cryptos that are ETFs. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, HBAR, XRP, all of it, okay? So what they're, and it's not really confirmed yet. I am not sunburned. I'm actually not sunburned. I didn't even get a lot of color. Am I a fiduciary? No, I'm not a fiduciary. You can contact Dame. If you need like a financial advisor, you can go ahead and use them. I can do that. Anyways, so that's gonna be good for all of your altcoin bags. For your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your XRP, your Solana, like literally anything that is in, anything is a spot ETF. So they're gonna let the big money coming in. And I got my channel members, give me a second, because I'm getting like overstimulated with all the sounds and stuff like that. Anyways, next, let's talk about DeFi being kaput. Because that was somebody from Maple Finance that came out and said that. So the Maple Finance CEO, Sid Powell, said DeFi is dead as a sustainable category with institutions no longer separating DeFi from TradFi. He predicts stablecoin processing 50 trillion in transactions in 2026, overtaking major credit card networks. I agree with that take. He anticipates high-profile on-chain credit default that will stress test the system. Stress test the system. He compares blockchain's role in finance to the internet's role in commerce becoming the invisible infrastructure, and predicts capital market activity will ultimately settle on public chains. I don't agree with that. It's all going to be private. He sees tokenized private credit as a primary engine growth for on-chain finance. So basically he's saying like DeFi is dead, whatever it is. I don't think it is so. I think that there's a lot that was lifted out of this particular article here. DeFi is actually going to be for the people, by the people. And let me cook on this a little bit. Let me cook. So when we're talking about DeFi, we've got current chair Paul Atkins, and he's like, you know what? DeFi needs to be regulated completely differently than crypto in general, because it's, or than more centralized exchanges or more centralized projects and whatnot. So their issue is with the disclosures. Like I sat and I talked to Hester Pierce. I met with her a couple years back when Gary Gensler was still around, and that's what they were talking about. They were talking about like basic disclosures, and that's going to be important. So I don't think DeFi is going to be for the people, by the people. Like if DeFi gets exempt from crypto regulation, it's going to be fine. Like it's a very, very important, crucial role. And again, solid projects I like to look to, AI, DeFi, and RWAs. So I don't think DeFi is going anywhere. It's just going to be used in a different capacity. And we don't really want institutions using DeFi, do we? Well, that would be nice if they used it, because it would be more transparent. And again, like some of the things we've seen Ripple have their own like DeFi, protocols and whatnot. So there's that. So DeFi is going to be important for the people. With institutions, it's going to be a little bit differently because they have all these laws and regulations that have been put into place. So it's going to just operate a little bit differently. But again, I hope that they leave DeFi out of the regulation, because we still want to be able to have opportunities to participate. Like that's what we want to do. Also too, if you're somebody that's in the chat and you think that you sent me money, you didn't actually send me money, you probably sent money to a scammer. So could somebody get that guy out of there? It's just really weird. Hide. There we go. Yeah, let's just we're just gonna hide him on the channel. Anyways, let's get back into it. So there's that popped out. Now, there was one other thing I wanted to share with you guys a little bit. Grayscale. So Grayscale sees 1,000 times growth potential for tokenized assets by 2030, and I agree with them here. They said it could grow 1,000 times by 2030 and attributed this potential to blockchain infrastructure, maturing regulatory clarity, and institutional adoption. Great, fine, fantastic, okay? So this I agree with, because we've already seen like the BlackRocks and the DTCC, they want to really put everything on chain. So we're going to see tokenization explode. That's why I've told you guys to focus on projects that have RWAs, stuff like Hedera, stuff like VeChain, stuff like Ondo, that type of stuff. You know, RWAs are going to be important. Now, really, really quickly. Senate chair confirms pro-crypto Mike Slegg as CFTC chair. So Caroline Pham, she's going to be over, I want to say, at MoonPay. She did an absolutely amazing job. But Michael Slegg, he's going to do good things for crypto, in my personal opinion. And again, with the CFTC and the SEC, you guys can all write letters. All write letters to them if you have anything that you want to, you say. Like, and again, in America, we can respectfully demand certain things. That's how our democracy works. So we are going to be seeing changes in crypto. Fingers crossed. I think that it was I want to say, was it David Sachs? They talked about really kind of streamlining crypto regulation, because a lot of analysts and a lot of people are saying that we're not getting a crazy market because we don't really have the Clarity Act is done yet. Okay, you guys are being weird today. Anyways, what else? Really quickly, I think that was it for the day. Oh, I've got a video for you guys coming about the new crypto taxes that's going to happen with my CPA Scott, and he can give like tax advice and stuff like that. But he's going to break down everything that's going to happen with that. That's going to come out at 2 p.m. PT. But big shout out to the channel members, to John Legend, to Gorgeous Alexandra, Lawrence for the $10 super chat, Dale, Mr. R. What else? I'm John Germain. And who else? Yeah. And John Legend. Anyways, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get going over here. Hawaii is beautiful. I absolutely love it. My kid is having literally the best time ever. She actually made friends. She makes friends with everybody. Like, we're just having the best time ever. Anyways, Bitcoin could potentially hit, I do think that we will see 74,000, but I think we'll get a swing whip that pops it back up. So we'll see what happens to that. But anyways, DeFi is not dead. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to be it's going to kind of evolve into something else. We've got Michael Slegg and with the CFTC, so he's going to help get that regulation pushed through. But sending y'all love and light. Market's going to be okay. Literally all altcoins are going down because that's what it is. So I will get back with you soon. Bye.